probably haven't heard of them, but cult rockers Dead Moon have already shown their loyalty to this country. They turned down the chance to bill with Nirvana back in the States to keep their commitment to tour here.
We've confirmed the booking, and somebody calls up and says that we have something bigger to play. We don't cancel the small one to play the big one. We play the small one and tell the big one that we can't do it.
Yeah. All right. We're ready to go here.
Stranded in the storm, trying to see through the rain. Looks like my life's coming round again. Wouldn't stop it now, even if I thought I could. Yeah, I'm one of the remnants who burned out sea, trying to recover from the years between. They didn't want then, is what they think they want now. Down the road, down the road. Oh, I can still remember being here a long time ago. Down the road, down the road. Oh, I can still remember being here a long time ago.
Oh, I was picking up the pieces from another hard fall, waiting by the phone for an overseas call. They wanted my past, and they wanted it now. Oh, I could sense it in the air, feel it in my veins. Something was coming to take me away. The dam was so low, maybe that's a price to pay.
Down the road, down the road. Oh, I can still remember being here a long time ago. Down the road, down the road. Oh, I can still remember being here a long time ago. Looked in the mirror, trying to see what it was they killed in me. Why can't I no longer believe? I wandered around, swore by God I'd never give in, no matter how hard they fought. Waited too long to have it any other way. Down the road, down the road. Oh, I still remember being here a long time ago. Down the road, down the road. Oh, I can still remember being here a long time ago. Down the road, down the road. Oh, I can still remember being here a long time ago. Down the road, down the road. Oh, I can still remember being here a long time ago. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, and welcome along to Dirtbag Radio on 95B FM. I'm your host, Rapley, and it's a very special night tonight. It's a Dead Moon night. Tonight is the release, the worldwide premiere of Going South, the new Dead Moon live record coming out of this country. It was played in Invercargill in 1992, and
Actually, and this is John Baker here, but actually, to the hour, to the minute almost.
To the hour?
It was September 5th.
September
1990,
5th.
So it's 30
it was
years.
this day exactly 30 years. That person you heard right there, that's John Baker. Hey, John.
Hey, Rapley and my FM listeners.
I've got in the studio tonight, I've got John Baker, got Andrew Tolley.
Good evening.
Hello. And I've got the Teagle Chicken.
Hello, and buck buck.
John, you booked this unknown New Zealand band to come down.
Well, I've got this friend in Switzerland, Andy Frick, and he would send me cassettes. You know, we're talking about cassette trading
Yes.
and stuff. And he sent. Well, actually, it was the first two albums. And I remember it was sent to us. I was in the band with Graham, and remember I got the cassette. We put it on, and I remember Dave Graham going, "Wow, this guy's singing from some crazy place." and it was Dead Moon, and anyway, I got their contact, and it might have been through Andrew, because Andrew used to send me tapes, these fantastic mixtapes in the late 80s, and I'm pretty sure there was a couple of Dead Moon songs on those, but I wrote them a letter, and I remember Tootie wrote me this letter back, which I cannot find. I keep everything, but I can't find it. Someone who's really bad for keeping stuff is Graham, because he's actually wearing his T-shirt from 1992. Still fits him.
It's a perfectly off-centre screen print.
Yeah.
But Graham keeps everything. So anyway, I wrote, and I always remember Tootie saying thanks very much for your letter, and she would type these letters, and they were always in capitals, and just sign them Tootie.
That's how I write.
And the answer was, we'd love to. So fax. Well, I think I got a fax machine. I was able to use one, and then write letters, and then they came.
Amazing. And as the story goes, they famously turned down Nirvana for a support slot that came in after your offer to come down to New Zealand, and they don't turn down the small show for the big show. That's a band with integrity right there.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, Graham, aka Teagle Chicken.
Yeah, I also turned down Nirvana.
Yeah, you did as well. So you recorded this set, right? This show.
Yes. Well, so this was actually just taken from the desk onto a cassette deck, and a little bit guilty at the time because I hadn't asked the band first, and so I'd recorded the show. And a couple of days later, we're playing in Nelson, and I'd asked him then, "Hey, can I record the show tonight?"
Yeah.
And he was like totally cool with that. Fortunately, because that let the guilt part go, because I was a bit worried that I'd sort of, done something a bit dodgy here and broken the code.
Across the line.
You never record without letting them know first. No.
But where would these things be, right? If people didn't do these things from
Exactly.
time to time.
So we're hearing your live mix of the night.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a little bit of, a bit of magic manipulation happened afterwards, a bit of restoration, so to speak.
Well, I mean, coming off a cassette tape from '92, it's going to have a few pits in it, right?
No, totally.
Well, it sounds incredible, and I'm so glad that you captured it.
Could we actually get Graham to edit? Graham gets a diary, and he's brought the diary with him. Do you want to read your diary entry for the day, Graham?
Right.
Is that from 92?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Arcane, Smack, Dead Moon at Glengarry, Invercargill. First full mic up. This room is really clear with a few people in. Arcane sounded particularly good. Still only about 40 to 50 people though. Replaced horn diaphragm and Fred's side wedge. Fred was notorious this is not in the diary, this part, but Fred was notorious for blowing wedges, blowing the monitor speakers.
Right.
You'd never hear anything, right? It's always turn it up. And then the next day, something would be blown. You're constantly replacing parts in the speakers.
So you're lucky you had a good supply of of parts for the speakers then.
Yeah, well, we had 2 parts of the tour, and after the first part, I kind of figured that out.
And the thing that amazed me, I'd never seen anyone with a stage monitor so close to their ear. And when people eventually get to see this record, you'll see the monitor is like right here, and it'll be blasting. And I'd be keen if anyone saw them in 1992, if they want to text.
Yeah, please text in tonight, 5395 on the text machine, or give us a call even, 309-3879 on the phone. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks to John, Andrew, and Graham for being here. This is Dead Moon Night, Dirtbag Radio. I'm your host, Rapley. Let's do it.
looking at you. I guess you're gone in my bed.
Thank you. More if you can, Graham. Test. Make sure you're on the right mic, cause man, test. 1, 2, check. Check. 1, 2. Check. 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 Oh, it's a drag being deaf. That's good, I guess.
All right, that's the new Going South Dead Moon live show from 1992.
That'd be the furthest they would have ever gone.
It's the most southern show they ever played on the planet.
Can't go any further south.
That's true.
Should have gone south.
Yeah, gone
Come
south.
down.
Andrew, were you into Dead Moon obviously very early on as well?
Well, yeah, like I put a post on Facebook today and I didn't really clock it, but the first time I came across Fred Cole was when I was in my late teens. I bought a second-hand record from Wellington Public Library and it was The Rats. I think it's the black one.
What year was that?
I can't remember. I can't remember exactly. It was in the 80s sometimes.
It's not intimate.
So anyway,
that one.
that was the first time, and I picked up on Dead Moon because I read about them in this English magazine called Bucket Full of Brains, and they used to always have really good reviews, quite in depth. And it was just the first couple of singles were coming out, and they just called them. This is kind of Led Zeppelin if they were kind of a scuzzy biker gang on the real back roads, and we're talking real nasty bikers.
Yeah.
And that was their just kind of description of the whole thing. It's like, this sounds kind of interesting. And it's like they're doing this Hey Joe and Parchment Farm, there's kind of classic 60s covers in there. And so this is kind of my bag. And so I got a couple of the first singles. And then I was
So
kind of
you mail ordered from the
I
time.
mail ordered. I was a mail order transporter.
Well,
kid
yeah,
way
you're
back then.
the mail order king of New Zealand, or one of them anyway.
Yeah,
We've got a couple
there
others
are
in the
many.
room.
There are many.
Yeah.
And sorry, what was the original question? I've forgotten.
No, there was. I was just like how you got onto this
how
band and
I got onto
like.
it. So yeah, it was kind of slight. And then I used to send mixtapes to John. used to send mixtapes to Pat Fagan, Dwayne Zerikoff from the Axel Grinders and stuff, and Dead Moon would start cropping up a lot on them. And that.
Well,
and then John brought them here, and it just exploded.
It's crazy getting to know all those bands without pre-internet days. It's like.
True.
Well, that's the importance of the mixtape, man. And if you didn't front up with a decent mixtape, it's like, why would I spend all this time if I'm not going to put on the hits that are clogging up my mind this week, So, yeah.
And then when Dead Moon first went to Wellington, you and I did an all-nighter afterwards, didn't we?
Probably.
I think we just drank tea and coffee.
Probably.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. I was like, what? All-nighter?
But where was that? Was that the Antipodes show? Or was there the place that's had
it was the Alibaba's.
Alibaba's, which I can never remember the name of it. It's had a billion zillion names. Ty Cody's, Sonic Temple. It's now kind of the San Francisco bathhouse, but before then it was more grotto-esque. Had kind of stalagmites and stalactites and a disco dance floor.
Yeah.
And the stage was at the other end, but it probably flipped between the two.
It was a club in the 60s too.
It was a club in the 60s, yeah.
Avengers and Tom.
Did you end up sort of playing with Dead Moon at all? Like through their joints?
As I was telling you before, in between the break, and when they came and played Antipodes, and wasn't like a big crowd, so there was room to move, and they were doing the track Somewhere Far Away, which is kind of one of the slower ballad ones, and I kind of just sided up onto the stage and just got up beside Judy and kind of very quietly contributed backing vocals.
Met them earlier or anything?
Not really, I don't think, but I think she just like, what's he doing? Okay, you can sing, that's cool. And I sort of managed to get away for, I think, 2 choruses, then I kind of shied off and thought, I'm not going to overstay my welcome here.
Upstage you. Yeah.
No, there's no. I don't think that was ever going to happen.
Have you done much fanboy stuff since?
No. I think I would start talking about other groups.
Hold on, yeah, I think I've seen you do some backup vocals for other people before. But anyway.
Andrew in '92, and then was it the following year? I went to this thing called Garage Shock in Bellingham.
Oh, yeah.
What state is it in Washington?
It's in Washington. It's not too far. Bellingham isn't too far away from Seattle. And this label called Estrus Records, who put out lots of the Mummies, Manor Astronomy, and I'm just trying to think the other big hitters on the label. I think they didn't put out any Dead Moon trap.
No, they just had bands like Dead Moon play.
So anyway, they had this Garage Shock at the local and 3B.
Garage Shock.
Garage Shock. 3B Tavern. Is that what it's called? They had 3 nights, 6 bands, and it had all these bands that I was really into at the time, and I just thought, this is my dream trip, and just did a trip to San Francisco and also Bellingham, and I'm there, I'm thinking, I'm the only Kiwi here, what's the chance? And I look across the room and fucking John Baker on the other side. It's like, yeah, of course you're here. And we just ended up hanging out for
and
about...
his dream trip turned into a nightmare.
It just became a little bit more colourful, shall we say. But I've got lots of great photos of John acting up.
You mentioned you had some great photos of Fred as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Dead Moon.
The classic shot I've got Fred in full flight. He's closed his eyes. You can see the Dead Moon tattoo on his face, and a member of the audience is holding up a Budweiser, and he's cracked it, and half the beer is already flying out upwards. So it's just kind of this, you couldn't wish for a better action shot in the middle of it. And I've got them doing the whole kind of pep talk over the upturned Jack Daniels whiskey bottle candle.
The rock and roll prayer.
Yeah, the rock and roll prayer before the launch pad.
Nice.
So yeah, fond memories.
Well, we've got a bunch of texts coming in. Dead Moon, September 1982, at the Dog and Trumpet. Who was the support that night? Has Teagle got it written down?
Well, I'm hoping you thought the support act was great, because it was the Psycho Daisies, which is John and I's band. Smack, and with Dead Moon, of course. Boardwalk, I think it was called then. So what I've written in here is expected heaps better turnout, about 250 payers. Got hideously drunk and played like a possessed, out of tune. This is why you told me not to read this before I read it out. Like a possessed, out of tune something or other, with new strings. And a guitar that just would not stay attached to me, but I think we were good there. Actually, the neck came off the guitar several times.
The neck came off?
I had to screw it back on, and then it came off again.
I've never seen that happen, honestly.
Found out several days later at stuffed chicken practice, that my neck screws had pulled through, and the neck was being pulled out of like a big string tension. Tonight was like my birthday party, because actually it was my birthday the next day. Since I felt pretty much the greatest of honour at the Boardwalk, and even at the guest of honour, and even the hideous party at Bronwyn's afterwards. So Bronwyn, hope you're not out there listening, thinking about how bad the party was. It was great. Being 26 is quite a relief, really. No more pressure of being quarter of a century. Just like starting over, really.
Oh, that's a great entry. Do you want to do some more questions?
Oh, sure, take them.
All right, we got how much of the cassette was edited for the LP? Were any songs omitted?
No songs are omitted. That's the exact play sequence that they played in.
That's the live set.
That is absolutely how they played it. Yeah. The only thing that's been edited really is the speaking bits between the songs, just a bit of noise reduction, and
bit of rescue.
No, but that was how they played it.
John, what was their rider?
Well, I knew they're like Jack Daniels, so I think I got a bottle of Jack Daniels every night. But they didn't always get drunk, so always kind of ended up with Andrew actually, and Andrew always found something to do with it,
and Southern Comfort, huh?
And Southern Comfort, yeah. But nothing. We usually get takeaways, and Fred says in a quote, I think with the Herald, is that I only eat bad. I only eat bad food. That's my body needs hamburgers and fries. But when they came here, they like fish and chips, and every time they come back, I think they'd eat fish and chips. But can I share a funny Andrew Loomis story with you?
Yeah, please.
That can be told on radio?
Of course.
So I'd never really done a tour before, so my friend Dan...
How old were you when you did this?
24.
24 years old. Okay.
So let's give my age away too. Damn!
Gotcha!
Sucker! Some age evaders here that do very well. But so Dan from Smack had Fred and Tootie at his house in Grey Lynn, and I put Andrew with some people like there might know Dave Graham, who was in Gestalt and the Rainy Days, and Dave Graham's parents had lived in Portland, and they lived in Epsom in a very nice house there. And I thought, that's a perfect fit for this guy, you know. They can talk about Portland, and so I put him in this suburban house with a hot water bottle and a cup of Milo before he goes to bed. And the next day I go, how was it? He goes, get me out of here. And then I can't remember where we ended up putting him, but I think that was quite a shock, because I imagine they probably wanted him in bed by 10 o'clock. And,
He's making a lot of noise up there.
yeah, but you know, Andrew was always, you know, he just found new friends everywhere, and I don't know where he got all his energy from, but that man had a lot of energy, didn't he, Graham?
Totally. Yeah, he made I think of Roddy in particular, actually. We probably should be remiss of us not to mention Roddy, who's also departed. But yeah, he and Roddy struck up an awesome friendship, and they are always out in the van between sets, you know, drinking away and listening to Freebird as their song of the tour. So yeah, if you were welcomed in, it was for smoking and listening to Freebird.
Yeah, and then Andrew got Sticky Filth to learn Mustang Sally. Do you know the Mustang Sally story?
No, I don't know Mustang Sally.
So I would book it by looking at maps and thinking, oh, that town looks good. So I'd done some research on 60s groups, and this guy that was in a band in Hamilton, wonderful name called the Stoners, and he ran the pub in Haast. Little did I know that the only thing in Haast was his pub. So I booked the show thinking, okay, he'll like Fred, because, you know, the blah, blah, blah. So Smack played, and we had to put tea towels on the drums, did we go? Because barman kept, too loud, turn the shit down, stuff like that. Like, God, what's going to happen? So we put Dead Moon on, and they weren't going to turn down. They just started out normal, and do you want to read your entry, Graham?
Oh my God, what day was that?
So the manager comes out and says, turn these guys off this shit, and we had to pull Dead Moon off, and then the jukebox came on, and Mustang Sally came on, and the crowd that were there went nuts to Mustang Sally on the jukebox. Do you want to?
Yeah, Smack Dead Moon at Haast. Really luxurious rooms, suites with TV, video channels, and spa bath. Unfortunately, the spa bath caused my right ear to entirely block up with water. So, a lesson for the listeners out there: don't stick your ear next to the jet on the spa pool. And the left one was intermittently blocked for another 2 weeks after that. Smack played 4 songs and had to play extremely quietly, tea towels on the drums. There you go. But was still told to stop playing by the wanker manager. Jukebox was twice as loud. People cheered. Dead Moon opted to play it at normal volume, and also only got through 3 or 4 songs before being axed. And the beginning of Andrew's Mustang Sally saga.
So then he told Sticky Filth about it. And what was the side band, or maybe one of their side groups, learnt it and played it at a show with Dead Moon, which, you know, yeah.
I got one more quickly before we go into side 3, Graham. Question for the sound man: how many mics did you use, and what instruments were mic'd up? Thank you. And that's from the Fred Cole Disciples.
Well, Fred Cole Disciples, I use as many mics as I need. So I know it's actually pretty simplistic, because we had the same kit we're travelling around with. So I reckon we had a kick and a snare, which would have been 57, maybe a 421 for the drums, for the one tom, and a couple of 57s would have been for bass and the guitar, and then the 2 vocal mics, 58s.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Yep.
If I can add, Graham, this is before cell phones and what have you, but Graham would draw the settings of the desk in this little A5 notebook each night, and you'll be able to see that in the record when it comes out, just his little hand settings. And
so you were touring with your own PA, obviously?
Yeah, we hired that from somewhere. I can't remember where it was hired from, but that was quite a good little PA.
What was it? Do you remember?
No.
But I'll tell you one thing, Dead Moon always helped load in and load out. There's never any
That's a
question.
sign
In
of
fact,
integrity right there.
Fred would take control of the load into the van.
Yeah, how to pack it.
Yeah, and how to pack it. Yeah, he had that down all the time. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. All right, this is Dead Moon going south.
A fight. 440 a fight. 54, 54, 54, 40 a fight. All right. Going out of control. Adrenaline pumping. Nowhere to turn. Start ticking inside. A fire burning in my eyes. I'm over the line. With the feeling in my guts. I can see that I had enough. Everybody just leave y'all, man. I'm over the edge. 440 a fight. 440 a fight. 54, 54, 54, 40 a fight. All right! Man, you better give me what's mine. I'm out of here. Can't take anymore. Dealing with society. Putting on me. I'm feeling my best. Nothing to afford. I've got a train driving through my head. I'm even burning in my bed. My telephone rings. We're putting dead on the line. I said, 440 a fight. 440 a fight. 54, 54, 54, 40 a fight. All right! Let's go! Gotta run! Gotta go! Right up to here! Taking them all! Gotta get away! Gotta get away! I'm ready to hear! Gotta get away!
Hello, welcome back. You're listening to Dirtbag Radio. A very special night. A world premiere of Going South, a double live LP that is soon to be coming out in this country.
The set is only kind of like, I only did it for New Zealand. There's like 54 copies.
Yeah.
And then Eric at Mississippi is doing a Mississippi version for the rest of the world. I've had a few inquiries, but you can buy it from my shop on Saturday, which is in Titirangi. So watch the space, and and it comes in a bag with like a screen printed patch, and the bag's hand sewn.
The New Zealand, these New Zealand copies are the ones, right? These are the ones that.
Well, I just Graham and I have talked about it for ages, and actually when I first got onto it, how long took you? 2 years to get around to it?
Something like that, yeah.
Graham's a very, very busy man, and he finally got around to it, and then so it comes in this upcycled box, which when you see them you go, it's one of those, but they look cool. They painted matte black, colour photo on the cover, so there's 2 LPs with hand stamped labels in Tootie's handwriting, and there's a set list, a reproduction of set list. There's 7-inch, which we'll listen to later, of the 2 recordings they did with Bob Frisbee at Frisbee Studios.
We've got that queued up on the record player after.
Yeah, and there's a reproduction, kindly with the permission of Graham here, of his diary. As you can see all his diary entries from the beginning to the end.
This thing's gold. I want to hear some more of it.
That's gold. And then I've kept all the clippings and ephemera that appeared in the press at the time, and there's reproductions of those. And then subsequent Dead Moon tours, I reproed the posters, and they're in the booklet too. So I was looking at them the other day, and it's like, my goodness, this band came here like 5 times and played over 50 shows in New Zealand.
Wow. Holy shit! You
know, Invercargill to Kaponga to Haas to Parkery, and then Barrytown, of course. And also, speaking of shows, we're all kind of involved in one way or another with a show on Friday night at UFO with your band, you fellas' band, Blood Bags,
yes,
yep, and Graham's one-man band, the Teagle Chicken. He'll be opening the night, and then we've also got Jimmy Christmas has got Jet Generations, and they'll be doing a Dead Moon set. And Jimmy told me this amazing, well, I thought it was amazing, but story of seeing Dead Moon in '96 when he was still a teenager, and seeing them do Poor Born, and they're going, did Fred really say that about with one shake of a nightgown, that line? And jump ahead, 25 plus years, he totally gets that now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The Situations are doing a all Dead Moon set, and I saw them on Saturday night doing, what song did I say it was?
So Blood Bags, by the way, all Dead Moon set. All Fred Cole, I guess.
All Fred Cole, and that all counts.
Yeah.
Is anyone doing Poverty Shack?
We used to.
We've done it in the past, but that was a hairy one, but it was fun. Yeah. We'll do it again one time. Yeah, of course.
I actually listened to it before I came here and brought it with me, so we can. It is on those evil CDs, but we can maybe have a listen later because it's just a banger. That song.
Oh, it is. Maybe we could close the show with it.
Yeah.
Or we'll see how we go.
So Eric from Mississippi was telling me that when they put it in that book, Fred recorded it and then recorded it off his acetate and then just cut it for Eric. Have you heard that? It sounds fantastic.
Oh yeah. It's great. That book as well. We got sent one of Tootie's copies.
Wow.
Great, yeah.
Wow. I haven't seen. So it's been reprinted once or twice again.
I think it's been reprinted like 3 times. There's like even maybe another version coming out. Yeah. Anyway, let's. We've got another one here for you, Graham. What length, type, and brand of cassette?
I can't disclose. Oh, cassette. Sorry.
Yeah. Tape was used and recorded the set on, and was it new?
Yes, it was new. I was a bit of a stickler for that sort of thing. But it was as a TAC, I'm just looking at a photograph of it at the moment. It's a TAC normal bias, 120 micro, whatever that is, EQ, a CDX 90-minute tape.
Right on. Well, Graham just sent me that picture and we put it up on the Dirtbag Radio Facebook page. If you want to have a look at it, it's a cassette of that. This whole set was recorded on.
They sound amazing.
Well, it's like all the text is flooding in about how amazing this sounds. It's like probably couldn't have got there with someone recording it on their phone or some shit like that.
Just the crunching cassettes. And what was that?
They actually, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a bit of restoration work done on this, and actually takes it really well. So if you've got tapes out there you think are crap, actually you might find that they can be made to sound a lot better than you think. Rare stuff in particular. Never let it go.
That's right. Well, now look, we're sitting here 30 years later and pressed to a double album. Should we get into this last side, eh?
Yeah, this is the last side, and it starts with my fave, Going South. I don't want to give it away, but Animal's in there, and Andrew might be able to tell the listeners where Animal comes from.
Animal was originally a Rat song, so a lot of Rat songs actually ended up in probably more in Dead Moon live sets than there might be one or two that have cropped up on albums, but yeah, they delved back into their past quite a lot.
The Rats version was a lot sort of, I guess like jauntier, like. upbeat sort of new wavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is Dirtbag Radio. You listen to 95 BFM. This is the last side of the Going South live at Invercargill, 1992. This is Dead Moon. Okay, welcome back to some Dirtbag Radio on 95 BFM. I'm Rapley. I've been joined tonight by John Baker, Andrew Tolley, the Teagle Chicken, and it's I've had a great
resisting
time.
the clucking.
All right, yeah. So that record, start to finish, incredible.
I think Graham did an amazing job.
He did an incredible job.
Then and now.
Yeah, it's like I don't think as a live set recorded for the rest of the time is like you can't get better than that, in my opinion. So thank you so much for getting that and finding it, and John for putting it out. And what was people were wanting to know where to get.
Come to the show on Friday and
come to the show on Friday.
Fly, yeah.
All right, yeah. So this is at UFO. In
Veronica Street opposite the Raza.
Yeah.
Don't go to the RSA.
No, don't go there.
You won't see blood bags there.
No,
Actually, you might before the show.
looking for Dead Moon.
No. Yeah. But yeah.
Have you renewed your annual membership?
No.
Hey, if Brian Waver's listening. Has Brian Waver told me the story?
Andrew does not look happy right now.
And Brian Waver, who's another big Dead Moon fan, told me the story about joining the RSA because you get free parking in every town.
I guess that's
Total
true.
Brian Waver move, isn't it?
I guess that's true.
And he said some of the RSAs have showers.
Oh God. That's some.
He is one resourceful man, but we've got
that's a well parked, well shelled man. So what's the name of the imprint? What's it coming out on?
Electric Alchemy.
Electric Alchemy.
8 because it was Fred's spiritual and favourite mystical number.
All right.
As he said, 4 letters in Fred, 4 letters in Coal, 4 letters in Dead, 4 letters in Moon.
Right on.
Yeah. Hey, but when they came back before at the end of the tour, they went into Frisbee and recorded 2 songs with Bob Frisbee.
Yep.
And they wanted to get a better version of Don't Burn the Fire, and also Dave Lang from Dog Meat Records was doing those tribute records at the time.
Was he going to do a Seeds one?
He was doing a Seeds one, and he asked.
Never came out.
Yeah, it never came out, but Dead Moon put down a version of Pushing Too Hard in one take, and I think Fred just hummed the song to the band, and they just did it, and he kind of almost ad-libs the records, but he captures something. So
and this is pressed to 7-inch record.
Pressed to 7-inch, mixed and mastered by Bob.
Yep, and this is coming out with the package.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we better play it because we're pretty much out of time. We'll play it. Should we say goodbye now?
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
I feel like I know you all already.
Oh yeah. Please come back. We'll just do the show again and again. Eh? I'm keen.
Hopefully there's stories.
All right. Yeah. Thanks so much for all you guys coming up.
Can I just say thank you, Rapley, for everything you've done for Dead Moon over the time. It's a joy being able to tune into BFM every week and get a bit of Dead Moon action. Yeah, constantly.
Well, this show was pretty much started over 9 years ago now, just so I could play Dead Moon on the radio.
I'm only in a band with this man because he likes Dead Moon.
Yeah. So everyone out there, big hand for Rapley.
Waving
the flag.
All right, let's play this 7-inch record. Thanks to you guys. Let's do it. We got Don't Burn the Fires. Thanks to all the listeners. Thanks for all the calls and texts. All right, peace out. Later.
1, 2, 3. Running away, knew I was wrong. Tried to fit it in, no, I didn't belong. Wearing their clothes, playing the game, being a part of that urban decay. Don't burn the fire, never coming home. Don't burn the fire, never coming home. In the morning sky, holy grail, heard the whispers of my own mistake. Those warning eyes, sign of tracks, no one seems to get that bird. Don't burn the fire, never coming home. Don't burn the fire, never coming home. When I reached my destination, I thought someday I might return. Cause deep inside was a need to feel the home fires burn. But a faltering voice merely whispered my name as if it never expected